what does it cost to build a rental property like this? If you're wondering, then this video is for you. I'm going to break down a detailed cost from land cost to soft cost to hard cost, what exactly all those means. And I'm going to add a lot of tips that can save you thousands of dollars, because I know the frustration when you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars before even getting any income. Stay tuned until the end. This will help you to build that passive income, that financial freedom that you're looking to, and the generation of wealth that you want to build. This can help you. Namaskar. Welcome back to my channel. This is Aditya Soma. I'm a real estate investor and real estate agent. And on this channel, I would love to help you achieve passive income, financial freedom, and build generational wealth for your whole generations to enjoy. So in this video specifically, I'm going to talk about the cost to build a rental property. And I described in other videos recently why I'm choosing to build rental properties here in Canada, Windsor. Check out that video if you want to learn why. But this video is specifically what are the costs involved. But not only just the cost. If you're building rental properties, if you do it right way, you can get a lot of government money. So I'm going to share the tips at the end. And also I'm going to share the tips that will help you to save the construction cost, the land cost, the soft cost. And make sure any questions you have related building a rental properties, leave it in the comments below. My goal is to help you build wealth through this brand new rental properties. So the first one, the cost, is to buy the land. So before you buy a land, make sure get a clear picture on what you want to build. So personally nowadays what I'm doing is I'm only buying a residential lot where I can build 3 units, because any residential lot will allow to build 3 units, but its zoning has to meet certain frontage, certain depth. So make sure know the zoning information, because if you don't do all those due diligence and if you just blindly buy the lot, you can get into trouble. But average lot price in Windsor, Ontario, what I am buying is somewhere between 150 to 200,000. So that's a land cost. But if you want to buy something in premium locations, the lot price can go up as high as like 300, 350,000. And depends on whichever the city you're looking to build. Make sure, go on to realtor.ca, quickly put the filter for residential lots and look for those. And the second cost is the soft cost. So first of all, what are all involved in the soft cost? The first thing is you need to get a survey of the land. So survey usually cost in Windsor less than $5,000. And then simultaneously you need to have a designer or an architect, especially if you're building just a 3-unit property like this, what I am building, then you just need a designer who has the knowledge of, designing properties like this. So usually designer costs $5,000, that's another cost. Once you have the designer start on the designs, now the next thing comes in is applying for city permits and city development fees. So permits and the development fees is something that can be very expensive. So check on your city website, what is the development fees? What is the permit fees? For Windsor, Ontario, our development fees is usually anywhere from $43,000 to $45,000 per unit. So based on how many units we are building, that cost can go up. So another pro tip here. What I'm doing is in Windsor, Ontario, there are certain neighborhoods which are exempted from development fees. So which means I'm going to save $40,000, $50,000 by picking the lots that are in the area where development fees is exempted. So look for those neighborhoods if there is any neighborhoods in your area that are exempted from development charges. So that could save you money, right? And here is another one. The designer is really key. And trust me, don't pick the ones who design regular homes. Pick the one who actually designs rental properties. Because see, your aim is not to, do a regular home, right? Your aim is to build a property that can be easily rented, but also the layout should be such a way that you will maximize your rental income, but doesn't have to have extra spaces, unwanted spaces. If you have seen my video here, my first rental property that I built, where I burned down a lot of extra cost because of my design inefficiencies. Having a clean design will help you to cut down the cost a lot. And remember, development fees is different from permit fees. Development is like you're just paying for the city to just build something on any lot. And permit fees is based on what you're building. You will pay certain fees for them to process your application and give you permits and come and do the inspections. So city guys will come and do your work inspections, right? The next cost is building, the actual construction, the material, the labor. This is where, if you're someone like me who don't want to deal with all these sub-trades or material, then you gotta partner up with a very good builder who can give you very good cost. One of the most important tip is finding a good builder who actually builds the rental properties, not our regular homes. The cost for construction, it can vary anywhere from $155 to all the way up to $250 per square feet. So this is where what I am doing is right now I'm building mostly 3-unit properties, and each unit has 1200 square feet, give or take 3600 square feet for 3 units. And all the units, again, this is my choice. All the units I'm doing 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom for the maximum rents. So I have 3 units, and the construction cost for $360. Again, this is my cost because of my connections, but your cost might vary. $150 into 3,600. So if you do the math, 540,000. That's what I'm looking at the construction cost. And this is excluding all other things, because if you have to include rest of the things, there is a lot more things that people overlook. So stay tuned, don't cut the video yet. So the next cost is you have landscaping, driveway. A lot of the times people overlook. The builder might not include the landscaping within the construction. Again, if you already negotiated with your builder, that's fantastic. But if your builder doesn't include, now you have to account for sodding, like grass. Usually that would cost anywhere from, again, depends on the lot size. Typical lot size I'm buying here are somewhere between 35 by 110. So 3,500 to 4,000 square feet lots. And on that, 60% is the property, so 40%. So for 1,800, 2,000 square feet, sodding usually cost anywhere $5,000, give or take. And the next thing is driveway and the sidewalks and the fence. So drive for a 4-car garage, a 4-car driveway, and plus the sidewalks. Probably you're looking anywhere from 15,000 to 20,000 for the concrete work. And now another things that people overlook is the next one, appliances. Hey, you're doing a rental property. Don't forget, you're not building to sell, right? So you want the appliances, then you have to account for it. So usually most of the appliances that I buy are under 5,000 per unit. So usually for every unit, I include laundry, washer and dryer combo, dishwasher, and fridge and stove. So all those 5 under 5,000. So each 5 into 3, now $15,000 there. And not over it. This is another one, biggest one that investors overlook. Hey, you're buying a lot and you're building it. Where is this cash coming from? If you have all cash, fantastic. But if you're borrowing from your line of credit, from your personal home, what is the interest rate? Because that's your holding cost, right? So how much is the interest rate that you're borrowing the money to use for this property? So there are 3 different ways you can get the money for the construction. One is a lot of major banks do lend you for construction. So a lot of people don't know that. Usually the cheapest one is with the A lenders, the big 5 banks. Then their rates are, they don't have any fees. Their rate is prime plus 2 or 3%. So the cheapest one. And if you're going for B lenders, usually B lenders are little economical than private lenders, but they're still little expensive than the lenders. So usually same prime plus 2 or 3% interest, but there will be extra fees, probably 1%, 2%. So you have to account for that. But if you don't qualify to get either one of them, then your last resource is private lending. So that means it's going to be expensive. But again, if all your numbers make sense, going for private lending doesn't hurt. Usually, most of the time, I go for private lender because of my complex file. It's easier for me to get the lending approved quicker and faster. But the little expensive. How expensive? Usually 3 to 4% fees upfront plus interest rate on the every draw, 1% interest rate that they're going to charge. So in summary, you will have a construction loan cost anywhere from 10,000, 20,000 to all the way up to 50, 60,000 for a project like this. Again, my project cost, like I said, 540,000, right? I'm doing the math according to that. But again, if you're building bigger than that, if your construction is much bigger project, then you got to make sure you account for more. And the other one also people overlook. hey, when you're building something on your lot, then you have insurance. You have to take an insurance. And this is usually, it's not a contractor insurance, it's an insurance for the liability, if something happens for someone or at your property when the construction happening. The contractors will have their own insurances, but you also should have insurance for the construction, because what if there is a fire damage happened in the property halfway built? So usually those are expensive. Usually it can cost anywhere from $1,000 or even $500 to $1,000, $1,500 per month. So based on what's your duration for the construction will dictate your cost on the insurance. So make sure, calculate all those things. In Ontario, if you're building a 6+ units, 6 or more, or 10 bedroom or more in a property, you will get 100% HST back. So again, check on CRA website, you will get more details there. So basically there is HST rebates you can get. So that could save literally 80, 90, 100,000, whatever the HST you paid for the builder. The $150 I said per square feet, the 540, usually it's gonna be like 540 plus HST. So that means you're the one paying for the HST, right? So that's another unforeseen. Many investors don't calculate, especially if you're a first time building something like this, then you might overlook on those. So make sure, check on that HST rebates. Another one, if you're building in city like Windsor, especially in downtown and Sandwich Town and Fort City, we have grants. They called community improvement grants, which will allow you to save another 40, 50,000 on taxes. They hold the taxes of the land for 10 years. So which means your new taxes won't kick in, or they will kick in, but the city will give you almost 70%, sometimes 80%. So which can save you even 40, 50,000. So there are certain grants each city allows in certain neighborhoods. So check thoroughly before you take any actions. See if there is any grants that are allowed in your city, so you can save thousands of dollars. So there you go. You have the complete cost breakdown, the real cost for building a rental property. I know it's a lot, right? In summary, for me, it's costing me somewhere around 800 to 850,000 for building a 3-unit property. And after I get my HST back, probably it's going to be 750. And my property value is going to be somewhere anywhere from 900 to 950. So I'm going to build a good amount of equity. Plus, this property is going to cash flow after refinancing, having a traditional finance. It's going to cash flow at least $1,500 per month. What do you think? Is it worth the hassle to going through all this, and building a rental property? Or is it better to buy a resale rental property? Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts? And if you think this is helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. So, personally, I believe in having a brand new property, refinance and keep it for years can help you to build a solid passive income and build a proper wealth for your family. And plus, it can help you to achieve financial freedom. If you do 4 or 5 of these, the amount of cash flow you're going to make, and probably in 10 years, the amount of equity it's going to build will help you to quit your job. What do you think? Right? Let me know in the comments below. With that, I'll see you on the next videos. Peace, Vincity.